this is Terry and welcome to my channel, TD More Than Just Orchids. And it is Sunday. And I've been watering a few things, and I also mounted a couple of things, a couple of cattleyas, and I'm still spraying things for scale. This is one thing that ever since I've had it, it has always given me fits. And I know if you've been around for a while, you've heard about this one. This is my EPLC Butterfly Kisses Mendenhall. And it is a very reliant annually bloomer that puts up its new growths in the beginning of the spring. Actually, it's not in the beginning of the spring, usually around this time, and there is one right there. And the growths usually don't get more than 2 to 3 inches, but they bloom small depending on the amount of light intensity that it gets. The more light it gets, shorter, squattier pseudobulbs as opposed to the skinnier, taller. But usually every new growth does produce a pseudobulb that does bloom in the end of the season. So it is a later blooming plant. End of summer into fall usually is when it starts to bloom. And it always has a bit of scale on it. And so I am really just beginning to integrate it into the main population because I have been spraying it more frequently since I bought it out of the greenhouse. This is one that I mounted. Well, I took it out of a pot, and this is going to be hanging up by a hanger. This is BL Richard Mueller 4N, and it has a couple of new growths, and it's just in this bare root in that basket. This is the other thing that I mounted. This is Brassavola Crazy Arachno crossed with Brassavola Perennii. And it is on Tree Fern. My Dandelcurii still full of buds on that nice little spike. Ready and anxious to see that. There is the Bracatovola Golden Peacock. And the main reason for the video today is this so amazing plant. I can't talk enough about it. I've shown this off so many times already. It's already bloomed twice in 2024, and it's giving me more. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 that I can see. At the same time, it is putting up new growths. Now, folks, you know, if you don't know, I am quite the big fan of D-Kim Orchids, which is on eBay from Hawaii. And she always has the most healthiest of all plants that are so healthy and full of spikes and buds and blooms, and they arrive just as good as the picture. And she does combine shipping. Anywho, this is where this came from. Now this is I wish I could find the tag. It is Den Farmeri crossed with Den densiflorum. Now both species are from Southeast Asia, and both are more intermediate to cooler growing, although they can take some heat provided that it is shaded during the midday and it's given pristine and just constant air movement so that the leaves don't burn. And this is where this plant has landed, and it definitely seems to be a sweet spot. I've had this plant before. It's never bloomed so prolifically. Really was once a year, and usually that was in the fall. After the completion of the growth, then they would go through a dry period where they would be cut off from fertilizer and water. And sometimes they can be deciduous, but I have found that they bloom much better when they aren't deciduous. But this plant was treated as a deciduous plant. It was given good light, and it wasn't given cool temperatures. It was given more of a hot situation, really. And it was getting mist a couple times a day to keep the humidity around the plant in the greenhouse right around 75%. And that was after the completion of the growths from the previous season. So that's my experience with this plant. Farmeri and densiflorum, they both pretty much have the same culture. Densiflorum is fragrant, but this has not been fragrant for me. But it really makes me really satisfied and happy that with the choices that I make as I, wheedle and filter my collection down to the bare essence of what I feel is going to be manageable for me as, things progress as far as my ability to take care of orchids. I can't do 700 to 1,000 orchids forever, and I'm no young chicken. So, but this plant right here is completely worthy and makes me proud to have it in my collection, because especially since it seems to like where I have it and where I have had it, considering the transition from winter into spring, which is often, especially for new orchids into your collection, it's kind of a trial and error. You kind of have to find that sweet spot and reacclimate them to your conditions or to where you want to grow that plant, which I guess is your condition. So, anyway, that's that plant, and I know there's a name for it, but I don't have it. But anyway, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your work.